unstable YouTuber. Publicly trashes his daughter.
I guess the fruit of my loom, and she knows who that is, apparently listens to occasionally my shows on here, as I found out. Familiar with the trolls, and probably a troll herself, actually. Talking about my lovely daughter, actually, who I think lives her life vicariously through me to be part of my life. Isn't that kind of crazy, sick shit? Your own family member is living their life vicariously from her dad's YouTube show. That's pretty scary shit. Yeah, I notice as a fact. I'm sure she does. I won't elaborate on the issue, but I just like to say hi. How you doing? Have you seen your psychologist yet? Mm. Hey, I don't care. Just blood shit don't mean shit to me. That's all crap. That's all fucking Hollywood stuff. You either respected by somebody or respect somebody or you don't. Mother, father, brother, I don't care who the fuck they are. You don't show respect, you just don't get it back. That's just the way it is. Don't matter about fucking cellular level, microbial levels of the relationship having to do with biological. It doesn't have to do with anyone's character. I look at life this way. God, I know a lot of families that went through the same thing. They look at it this way: hey man, I raised my kid. I did the best I could as a parent, and that's all I could do. The rest is on their own. It's like a bird that flies out of the nest. Their life is on their own. They fly away from the mother and they begin their own life and have their own little baby birds. Isn't that what the life cycle really is? That's what the life cycle is. Don't ever have to see each other again. Some people never see their kids most of their life. Some family members break off and 40 years later they haven't seen each other. It's part of life. It's part of the life cycle. People fall apart. People don't agree with each other, even on a close family level. That's practically normal in our society. Blood doesn't mean shit to me. It's how you treat somebody, showing respect. That's what's important. The biological aspects of it have nothing to do with closeness, has nothing to do. Some of the strangest things that would come out of her mouth is that the very opposite of the exact problems I'm having with her. That she would try to give me advice, which is the biggest laugh, because she'd call me up and didn't really care what the hell was going on in my life. She would just shoot off for an hour of all her problems, all her problems. And I'm like, okay, trying to be a good father. I'm trying to listen, and I'd offer advice, and she, of course, wouldn't take my advice, so why call at all? So she'll turn around and say things like, I tried to give you good advice, but you don't listen to me. And, you know, she basically has the shittiest life. Her ex old man is a fucking child predator, serving 6 years in fucking jail. Never trusted the guy to begin with. She's got psychological issues, major issues that I don't even know who she is anymore. Seriously, I don't even know who she is. So this is kind of a short segment on the fruit of my loom. She hated me saying the fruit of the loom. Little joke. People are people. They will have issues and tissues. They will either respect their parents or they won't respect their parents. Some people kill their parents. Some parents kill their children. I mean, it's a fucking crazy world out there. It's crazy. Not everybody's family is like Leave It to Beaver family or, one of these sitcom TV shows where you got the perfect family life. And the kids always get advice from the dad and they actually listen to the dad. after making their own mistakes. At the end of the show, everybody's happy. Total respect for the parents. She grew up at a time when her family was these family shows on TV. It's like she was living vicariously through these family shows. She didn't have any brothers and sisters. Okay, this was like the TV shows were like an extension of her life. Now, the reason I talking about this issue is because I could see a lot of things on YouTube that are similar, having to do with family backgrounds and how people act and react today, and how they display themselves and what they talk about on YouTube. And it's really interesting the correlation between that, because there is a correlation. And that's why I'm talking about this freely talking about this. No one's putting a gun to my head, say, hey, tell me about the relationship with your kid. Well, it's not a good relationship. Okay. It's not a good relationship. And, kids are, they'll blame the parent that I caused all her problems. But the fact is, she created her own problems. She's just pissed off at me because I had moved to Hawaii. That's what started it off. Okay. She just had her first baby, and I was there when she had it. In fact, a van was waiting for me at my rental place to go to Hawaii with the dog. But I was there to see the first one, and I've seen the kids growing up multiple times. But then beyond that time, no, I haven't. She made no efforts to put the kids in my life and all that. I never respected her for that. The kids not really grown up to know. We've been to dinners together, been over the house, all that shit. Kids at a reasonable age, they all know who I am. But if the mother's not talking to the dad, to the grandpa. If the mother's not talking to the dad, to the grandpa, then they're not going to go out of their way. Okay, now when they're 18 and above, they can choose to do whatever they want, and they're always welcome to try to contact me. But I talk about this for a reason. Human change, how people can change so easily from the most loving, great children to very maniacal, psychologically messed up from things that they've created in their own life. And then they turn on the parents and say, it's all your fault. No, nothing is my fault. No, nothing is my fault. I don't live her life. I don't choose the boyfriend she had, which is some fucking loser that she's still in love with. This is not the husband. Some guy looks like the character on Scooby Doo, he's a pothead, drinks, smokes. He's actually brought girlfriends over the house, making believe it's a friend. This is a woman he's been sleeping with. Actually come over her place. Apparently she was his mommy. He needed a mommy figure. And despite how fucked up this guy was on drugs, was not contributing financially, and was using her for a place to put his hat, an occasional dip in the pool, if you know what I mean. She became close to him because she's figuring that I'm getting older and got 4 kids. Who's going to want me anymore? Who's going to want me? God, what a loser this guy was. She's still kind of friends with this guy, and I don't know what the deal is with him. She can't let loose of him. The biggest loser, he's probably on the level of Barry. No, Barry's worse. But this guy was getting pretty close to the level of Barry. But I love him. But I love him. And I said, well, what is it you love about him? Well, I mean, he has his nice moods sometimes. Oh, really? He has his nice moods. This is human psychology, people. And there's a lot of desperate YouTubers out there. This is why I'm correlating this. There's a lot of desperate YouTube men out there that will go after any Filipino to have a Filipino in her life, even if it's not a good match, and the woman winds up tearing him apart for money and everything else later on. You have to choose wisely in life. People's psychology changes. When you meet somebody, you're going to put your best shirt on, you're going to put your best act on, and a lot of people disguise who they really are. That maybe they're really broke, and maybe make the shit things that, well, He's got a lot of money, could support her. Lies, lies, pure lies. Everything is lies. Everything is fucking lies. That's not a good way to start relationships. Let's see, I gotta read some comments. On a long enough timeline, the survival rates for everyone drops to zero. Wild One says, at least you don't need to beg for a hotel breakfast in YouTube. Yeah. Fat Monger Travel says, I think you wanted to say the fruits of my loins. Oh, I have a joke about the fruit of my loom, like the Fruit of Loom underwear. But yeah, I joke about that. Of course, I know that. Yeah. Yeah, the guy is a fucking loser, man. Let me tell you. Sometimes a woman in America, they really think they're old when they're in their 30s. Like you're never going to get a man again. Well, here's the thing: if you don't take care of yourself and your looks, and you're just constantly manic all the time, and you're bitching and whining, you're not going to keep a guy. Then when you got four kids, that's women like her afraid of. They'll never get another man again. So keep what I got, even though the guy's a louse. The guy smokes. He's a pothead, drunkard. I think he's got a kidney problem. He's got a bad attitude. He barely ever wants to work. And of course, he works in a head shop. Of course, he does. What a fucking loser. And to think that the fruit of my loin, she hated it. The fruit of my loin is or would have a desperate interest in a man like that. Oh, it just frizzed up my wavy hair. And no matter how all the talk, she'd call me on the phone. Oh, Dad, what am I going to do? I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed. I said, well, get rid of the bum. But I can't. I said, why can't you? Is he the perfect guy for you? But I love him. What is it to love about this guy? He uses you, in some ways abuses you, psychologically and emotionally. Come on, you're my daughter. You really going to really be reacting this way to this situation of some guy who's a total fucking loser, and you're desperate of being alone is what it is. Oh, why did you have to move to Hawaii? I'd hear that. I used to hear that. Why? Would you have visited me anyway? No. I mean, even when I lived in Seattle, if I had something for her, she'd be over. She was a good kid, actually, growing up. She really was. Loved her to death. She really was. Cute. She was pretty self centered even as a kid. Oh, absolutely. She'd be feisty when she wanted to. It's too bad she kind of went through a metamorphosis. Remember, she's my only child that I know of anyway, but she's my only kid. Still love her as my daughter, but I don't like her as a person. Whoever she met, she morphed, man, into something that I don't know who she is. I don't want it to be that way, but it is the way it is. I can't change somebody who doesn't want to change. What are you going to do? Whether it's your daughter, friend, whatever, I don't care. Mother, father, somebody that can't change or won't try to change. And she'll turn around and say things like, the reason her life is all fucked up is because of you. And I say, well, how the hell did that get accomplished? Great father. I was both mother and father to her. She doesn't appreciate that kind of shit. But you have a child like that doesn't really, they'll realize that once you're gone, and you'll have a guilt complex. Why did I treat my dad or mom that way? And her own mom doesn't want to bother with her anymore. Does that tell you anything? Okay, well, it's the way it is sometimes with kids. I'm sure somebody out there had a unruly child or turned unruly at some point. Shit happens. Life moves on. Birds fly to nest. They grow up little chicklets. They grow up, fly to nest. They begin their own families. Isn't that what life really is? He's probably hung like a horse. I think she is beyond help at this. Well, I think so too. I hate to say that. Actually, I don't even think the guy could perform. I think she might have even talked to me about that once. It's called loneliness. Like a lot of you people out there listening right now, lonely as hell. That's why you come on my show and other people's shows, because you're lonely as hell. Let's face the fact. You're lonely as hell. Not a sin to be lonely. It's a shame to be lonely, that you have to be lonely when in a world of like, what is it, 5 billion people now? I don't even know the figure. That you can't find somebody in your life? I mean, really? That you live your life alone, latch key? And I mean, what? Why? There's got to be something awfully wrong with you if you can't find a woman. If you can't find a woman in the Philippines, there really has to be something wrong with you. Yeah, life is sure. I have moved on. That's the point. Like I said. Now, yeah, I do. And they did not get to grow up with me. And that always pissed me off because she would find reason to get mad at me and she'd use the kids as a tool. Like women usually do to their husbands when kids are involved, and I'm not going to allow you to see the kids as a way, as a tool of getting back when they're pissed off. Well, I'm actually her father, and she pulled that on me, her father. You don't get to see the grandkids. It's really a shame. It's really a shame. Of course, I know them all, not as the age they are now, but of course, I know who they are. I've been around them numerous times, of course, but it's a shame. It's not, you know, in my control. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to accept things for what they are. I, I'm not very happy that she turned out this way. I'm not happy at all. You only want well for your children. Now, put it this way: it's very easy for me to put people out of my life if they don't show respect, as I'm proving you here right now. If my own daughter doesn't show me respect and I shun her for that reason, look how easy it is. Somebody that's not my blood, that doesn't respect me, how easy that is. More so. Respect is not just a song, RESPCT. It's a real word, and it's a something that should be mutual respect for one another. Because you don't see that a lot these days. A lot of families are broken up, they go their own way. People disrespecting each other, having more respect for some scumbag on the street than your own parents. There's nothing dysfunctional the way I raised her. I raised her since she was 5 years old on my own, on my own, on my own. But once she met her first boyfriend that she wound up marrying, first boyfriend, first boyfriend, marries him. This is a guy that never even introduced himself to me respectfully. Hi, my name is blah, 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 and I want to date your daughter. Or maybe I'm just living in the old ages, maybe. But he never did that. He never did that. Never did that. She didn't show a lot of respect for me. And I basically, she was about 19 or so, started to date the guy, and I kicked her out of the house. I said, here, take your stuff. I put it outside. Get out. She went out with him. We're supposed to come back at a respectable time, and she disrespected my wishes. Is what happened. Yeah. Anyway, I told her, okay, you got your boyfriend? Get out. Get out. Can I have my bed? A really nice queen size bed, right? I said no, but I wanted to give it to her anyway. You love your daughter, but you can't make people respect you. And I guess that's the bottom line of all this that I'm trying to express. You can't make people respect you. First of all, you have to earn that respect, and I have in so many ways. But it wasn't reciprocal. So what do you do about a situation like that? Do you try to force somebody to respect you? You're going to force like Roberto or anybody these crumb buns on here to show respect to you, me, or anybody else on here? No, you're not. That's just life, man. Well, it is sad. It is sad that you have to manipulate sympathy for stories. You name it. Oh, the bummer. Yeah, yeah. It is very sad, Fat Monger. It actually is very sad, and I'm not the culprit here at all. Very good father to her. I was like a mother hen. I really was. I watched over her, made sure she never got hurt. I took care of her every need. The slightest cold, I'd take her to a doctor. She needed dental work. She'd have dental work done. She never went without. Never went without. So, in retrospect, I look back and I say, go to my grave one day knowing that I was a good father. In fact, I got custody of her. That's how good of a parent I was over a female, over a mother. I got custody. Not easy in this world for a father to get custody of a female daughter, of a daughter. I did. I got up at night when she was an infant, so the mother didn't have to always have, nights without sleep. I'd make the formula, feed her, change her diapers. Did a lot for my daughter, and this is the kind of disrespect that I get back. And that does hurt on an inner level. It really does to me. It really does. I mean, I was so caring enough that when me and the mother divorced, I had everybody we knew that knew her come over. We had a party, and it wasn't for her birthday. Got a nice cake, and we labeled the cake for a special girl. And got people she knew and friends of mine to come over to have some cake and whatnot, just to make her feel that it's not her fault that me and her mom broke up. Because a lot of children they take on that responsibility of a relationship breaking up when it's not their fault at all. It was never her fault. So I did that for my daughter. I've done a lot for her. That's why I don't talk about her on this a lot. A lot of people try to bring up and say, well, maybe you treated your daughter terribly or molested her or some fucking disgusting, despicable fucking thing to say, which is horrible to say that. No, she was treated very well. Very well. Very well. What happens after you grow up? You meet a man, you move out, and you're on your own. You know, how you feather your nest is really up to you. I was always been there for her when she needed me, but it gets to a point sometimes when you got to say enough is enough. She won't appreciate. She will not appreciate me till I'm long gone. It's sad. It is. I try not to let that bother me at all because I realize I'm dealing with somebody that you can't turn them around. You can't make them understand proper psychology. You can't make them understand that they are their own worst enemy. Stop putting blame to somebody else, pointing fingers when you make your own life. You make your own decisions who you wind up with as a partner. You don't blame that on a parent. We have nothing to do with that. I don't know if you guys ever had an experience like this, but I did. I certainly have. Sometimes you need to make the most of a bad situation. There's nothing to make of it. My relationship has been over with her for years. Okay, we talk, but she called when she's really down and out and needs her dad. And I was always there to listen to her until she starts getting manic on the phone with me. Oh, Dad, you don't understand. I said, I do understand. You're with a fucking bum. You're miserable. You're going to have a nervous breakdown or kill yourself over this guy. Is it fucking worth it? I tell her. Is it fucking worth it? But I love him. Oh, God. I've heard that before. I certainly have. Love him for what? For what? Not just because he's a bum, but shit, what he's done to you and around your kids. I mean, as far as smoking pot and drinking, and the nerve to bring a fucking girl over that's supposed to be his workmate or his personal friend or something. And meanwhile, he's fucking on her. That's pretty cruel shit. I think the inner her is a very lovely person, but I think she gets too overwhelmed with stuff and makes herself ill, is what I think. Boy, does this stuff sound familiar to anybody out there? Boy, yeah. No, I'm not under a lot of stress. I don't deal with it, you know. Of course not. She's not in touch with me. She's fucking not in touch with me. She's living her life vicariously as if she's in a family relationship with me through social media, really. She doesn't, she tries to talk to my brother when she has a problem, but, he hears the same shit coming out of her mouth. He was having almost a nervous breakdown listening to her when he tried to give her good advice, too, and she wouldn't listen. What do you do with somebody like that? I miss the old gal. I miss the old child of mine. I miss who she was. That part I really do miss. I really do. Hell, I used to carry around in a paboose, one of those, when she was really young. I went to the store and stuff. It's like a backpack thing. You slide the feet in. And I carried her. It's like a paboose type thing. I was very close to her, literally. Literally. When I went out, I took her with me as an infant and older, a little older than that, you know, uh, in a little kind of a paboose type thing that was very popular. But what could you do? As a parent, you do your best to raise your child, and you just hope for the best. That's all you can really do, you know. Drives you nuts, huh? No, she didn't wish me happy birthday, Father's Day, because she doesn't. She's selfish. She's extraordinarily selfish. You got to understand something. I'm only human, man. Blood or not, I mean, I think there's only so much you could take from somebody. You try to do your best to set them straight. You give them the best human and fatherly advice that you could possibly give anyone. But when they don't listen, then they turn around and say, "It's all your fault, my life." How's it my fault? Treated her like a princess. She had everything she wanted, never went without. I was a caring, loving father who showed a lot of concern for her. What can I do? What more can I fucking do? I got memories. I still got pictures of her in frames. She never even put pictures of me in the wall. That's, yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah. But I will go to my grave one day knowing I was a good father. And it's only one regret that I don't have a boy that's going to carry on my name because I'm the last of my name. It ends with me, really. That's it. Maybe it's for the best. I don't know. But think about it with your own families. How much are you willing to put up with a family member? They're your blood, they're your family, but, well, you just don't get along. You don't see eye to eye politically in every other way. What do you do in a situation like that? Not much. You can do. Well, there you go. An interesting story. That's all it was. It's all it is. And I guess that's the way it's going to be. So it's called human relations. How we as a society relate to each other in the family or outside the family. There's certain parameters that you're not willing to go break through or go over this parameter. There's certain things you're willing to do, but there's certain things you are not willing to do either. Sometimes you could do so much to help somebody. Yeah. No, there is no reset button. No, there's not. Nope. That's done. Too much bad words under the bridge, no. I know I did my best. That's all that matters. I'll go to my grave with that. Simple as that. There is no reset button here. Not coming from me anyway. So you got to understand, I don't take a lot of bullshit on YouTube from people because I've had a lot of experience with bullshit on a blood level.